Today I'm going to teach you the number one thing that changed my life forever: how to build your tribe. So a couple days ago, I was part of a mastermind that Dan Fleischman put together, and one of the coolest things about that mastermind was he had 12 real estate experts from all over the country that got together, got on this mastermind. We had over 5,000 people watched it. I'll put the link, in fact, in the description below on this video. But one of the things that came out of that was a lot of people talked about is, how do you find your tribe? How do you build your tribe? And this is a question I get asked a lot when I speak from the stage and do other things. And so I wanted to talk specifics of how you can build your own tribe. Nothing will change the quality of your life more than the relationships that you have in it. And so I want you to think about that. If the quality of your life is equal to the quality of your relationships, as Tony Robbins says all the time, then what are you doing to up the quality and value of your personal relationships, specifically your tribe? And one of the first things that I can tell you, one of the things that people miss the most on building their own tribe, is they're not very intentional about who's in their tribe. Like, think about this. If you were building, think about LeBron James when he was wanting to win NBA championships. He was sick of losing with the Cavaliers. He was sick of having Mo Williams and Matt Dellavedova, or whatever the guy's name was, as his running mates. So he decided, he said, I'm going to go join the Heat, right? And he went down and he joined the best of the best. He was very strategic about who was going to be in his tribe. And this is how we do everything else in our lives. But for some reason, a lot of times with our friend group or who we spend the most time with, we aren't as strategic. And so I want you to think of it this way. If you were going to go out and date, or if you're dating right now or whatever, how strategic are you about who you decide to date or spend your time with? Vary, right? Well, be the same way with your friends. So think to yourself, the number one question I ask myself is, who inspires me? I want to be around people that inspire me every single day in different ways, right? Some people inspire me at how great of a dad they are. Some people inspire me at what they do with their personal lives, or how they take care of their bodies or their minds, or things they do, or businesses they've built, or things. I just want to be around people that inspire me to do more. And so the number one thing I would say is, if you're just friends with the people that are convenient, the people that sit next to you in the office, or the people that happen to live next to you or you grew up with or whatever, it's time to get a little bit more strategic about who you want your tribe to be. So the question I would write down, number one, is, who do you want to be in your tribe? Who inspires you? Get specific. And if you can't think of actual people, then make an avatar for what that person looks like. What are they doing? What do they do on a daily basis? What kind of careers are they in? What kind of things do they do with their lives? What kind of vacations do they take? What kind of things do they do for fun and things like that, right? So that's the first thing that you can do. The second thing is to actually start to look for those people. And so what you do is you want to provide value. Every single thing that I do, I try to provide more value than I'm taking from other people. It's a principle of life that if you make somebody's life better, they're going to want to be around you. This is as simple as it gets. That's why it's important to be nice, because it's very hard not to like somebody that's always making your life better, that always makes you feel good when you're around them. It's not being a fake nice and just kind of trying to suck up or anything like that. It's legitimately going out of your way to find opportunities to serve people around you. And so what I've done is, every single time I see somebody that inspires me, that I want to be around, I think very strategically, what could I do to make their life better? And the biggest mistake you can make, a lot of people, when they reach out, they say, hey, I would love to be mentored by you, or I'd love to go hang out with you guys, take you golf and whatever else. Like, what can I do for you? And as soon as they ask me that question, I have to fire back. I say, hey, you just gave me a chore that I didn't sign up for. I don't want the job of figuring out what you can do for me. I don't know. Like, I don't know your skill set. I don't know what you're capable of. So instead of coming from this, what can I do for you? That just adds work for me. I don't want to do that. I have plenty of things I need done, but I don't even know what you can do. If you can't do it very well, it's going to cost me 3 times as much work to undo whatever you did. So I need to know what your skill set is. So instead, I find out I know what my abilities are, and I come and I share those with those people. So I have one example I'll give you. There was a guy that I really wanted to meet 4 or 5 years ago. He ran one of the biggest sales teams here in the state of Utah, and they had a bunch of guys that were making a lot of money, and I just knew that there was going to be a lot of potential homeowners. And this dude, I could tell, was kind of the leader. He was the one that was kind of managing all this, and kind of, all these guys were looking to him for who to go to for, real estate and housing and insurance, all these different things. And so I had a close friend that was one of his close friends. So I asked this dude to set me up on a lunch. And when we went to lunch, the dude, he was like, he didn't really want to go, but he said to me, first thing he said, he goes, I'll give you 20 minutes. So don't waste any of my time. And I just started kind of talking to him about him and about what he does for his sales guys and how he contributes back to them. And then I gave him a few ideas of some things that I wanted to do for him and his salespeople if they were willing to let me. I offered value. And we got done about 20 minutes. I said, hey, I just want to honor your time. You said you have 20 minutes. He goes, we're good. Keep talking. We ended up talking for about an hour and a half. And at the end of it, he goes, dude, you haven't asked me for what you want yet. Like, what do you want from all this? And I said, I just want an opportunity to connect, man. If we connect, I know the kind of person you are. If we can have a relationship, if we actually build a true friendship, I know what that means down the road for me. I don't need anything today. I just want to help make your life a little easier and a little better. And if I can do that, I know what's on the other side of that. He was like, that's really cool. So we started working out every day, became one of my closest friends. And I honestly ended up doing about 60 real estate transactions through that relationship. To this day, he's one of my closest friends, and it became a true friendship. But it's not malicious or bad or manipulative to go out and try to be strategically friends with people. That's the whole thing, is if you want to build your tribe, and by the way, I've gone to many people that I thought I wanted to be in my tribe, and upon meeting them, I realized very quickly I didn't want that person in my tribe, right? That's another part, is protecting the tribe. And so anytime I introduce people, I'm very careful about how I do that, but you want to be the person that's introducing everybody else. For most people, if you meet some really sharp people and you create those friendships with them, and then you introduce them to other sharp people that have amazing lives as well, then you become the piece that's connecting this tribe. And this is how you build an awesome tribe. I'm putting pictures up as I'm talking about this now. I'm going to show you a couple of my different groups of guy friends. I'm just very blessed in that I have the chance to have as many of these guys in my life that I do. But I've put a lot of effort, time, and love into these relationships, into these friendships. That's why we have this tight tribe. And that's the next thing that we do. Is one of the most important things you can do is you have to be vulnerable with each other. You don't want to be vulnerable in the sense that you come out with information that doesn't need to be there right off the bat. But with every single one of these friends, almost every single one of them, I end my relationship with, I love you, man, or hey, love you, let me know what I can do to help. We're always going out of our way to make their lives a little bit better for each other. On a daily, I get 7 or 8 guys will call me just to see how I'm doing and tell me that they love me as well, And when we have conversations, we're not trying to front on each other. We're not trying to puff our chest and prove who's the coolest. Like, we're only as good as the weakest member of the tribe. And so what we do is we only want to buoy each other up. We only want to build each other up. There's a way to edify your friends. I've got a couple buddies, Aaron Wagner and Paul Hutchinson, are some of the best I've ever met in my life at edifying other people. And that's why we have such great relationships. I mean, you walk into a room and nobody knows you there. What a mistake a lot of friends will make is they try to make fun of their buddy, or they kind of downplay their buddy, or when their buddy's talking, they're just playing with their straw and looking out into the distance. You just gave your buddy zero credibility. You just made him look like a jackass in front of the entire room. So what we do is we edify each other. Hey, let me tell you why I love this guy. Let me tell you why I spend my time with this guy right here. And then I just tell them the truth about who these people are. And when you do that for each other, you edify each other, you build these strong bonds. Another thing you can do is you've got to create experiences where emotion is shared. Tony Robbins, if you've ever been to a Tony Robbins event, every single experience that he has, they do something that involves high emotions, right? If you go to the Unleash the Power Within, you walk on hot coals, because that emotion around that experience, you never forget it. It really builds it together, so it gets into your core, into your being. The change does. Same thing if you go to his Life and Wealth Mastery, you climb a pole and then you jump off, like in this super scary, you're just latched on this little hook. But you create these emotional experiences. So me and my friends look for opportunities to go out of the way to create these experiences. And so if you want to build a strong tribe, one of the things you have to do is you have to put that effort in. It's a lot easier to go to the movies or just go to Top Golf or something, which is awesome as well. We do that stuff too. But when we're really building our relationship together, we go do amazing things. Like, we'll jump on a plane and fly to Vegas and back for the night, or we'll go fly to an NBA playoff game, or we'll go down to Mexico and spend a weekend golfing and fishing and hanging out and just having a blast and do these different things. I saw a couple pictures here in other countries. I've gone with my groups of friends all over the world. Because what happens when you go and you create these experiences is you create a bond that forms that's much tighter than anything you ever could have done if you're just hanging out here in the state. And so it's important to get out and do things. Go boating, go rock climbing, anything that creates an emotion, anything that creates a little bit of drama, and not necessarily bad drama, good drama, just like, a little scared or a little bit of fear, like racing cars and doing these different things. They're all things that create a little bit more emotion, and so it becomes a much deeper relationship. The next thing that you can do is you really want to support each other. Like, one of the things that my buddy Aaron Wagner says all the time, he says, I don't get when people post on social media, they'll post like something about Taco Bell or about like Delta Airlines. He's like, why aren't you posting your buddies' companies? And so we started this thing called Friends Support Friends. It's a hashtag we use, and every time, we're going to go out to eat, we'll go eat at one of our buddies' places. We'll go, buy from our buddies or whatever it might be. One of our buddies, Jason, had a goal to make $1 million in one day, $1 million of sales. It was on Black Friday this year. And by the end of the night, there was like 8 of us that randomly showed up at his work to help make sells. It was the coolest thing, and he ended up hitting it. He ended up hitting it by 1 chair. He was selling massage chairs at like, you know, $1,100 a piece, and he made it by 1 extra chair. I think I personally did like 4 of them. Another guy there did like 8 or 9. Another guy did like 6. And so the bottom line is, every single one of us contributed to our friend. We support each other. So instead of supporting these national companies we have no ties to, unless you're like heavily loaded on their stock, it makes no sense to post about those companies. Post about your friends, support your friends. Really let them know that you're not just in, you know, like I have multiple friends. One of my best friends, a guy named Trevor Milton. This guy's a billionaire. He founded Nikola Motors, and he found the most expensive house in the history of Utah. It's $32.5 million. And he called me up. He'd founded himself and negotiated the deal, and he said, hey, I want you to represent me. You believed in me and my company. I was one of the investors in his company early on when nobody else did, and of course, you're my guy for real estate. It was never a doubt. He could have saved himself a large sum of money, almost a 7-figure commission, if he did the deal without me. He didn't want to do that. He wanted me involved because he said I would never not use you to buy the house. I've had multiple friends do this. As you know, a truly bonded group, a tribe, doesn't worry about saving a few pennies. They want to help each other. They take pride in helping that person's business grow. And so if you have somebody that cuts hair, don't beat them up on the price. Tip them extra. Go out of the way. If somebody has a restaurant, don't go there and eat for free. Pay him double for the tacos or whatever it might be. Like I have one of my buddies owns Wise Guys Comedy Club here in Salt Lake City. Like he's told me he'll let me come free whenever I want because I've rented out his entire place a couple times. I said, Keith, I don't need to do that. I'm going to pay you every single time. And every time I go, I buy a couple extra drinks, a couple extra desserts. I tip the waitresses because I want to support my friends. And people notice these things. One of the #1 things that'll get you kicked out of a tribe is if you're cheap. I promise you, nobody likes the cheap guy. Nobody wants the cheap guy there because you end up picking up his tab. He ends up making everyone feel uncomfortable, and you know he doesn't have your back. So friends support friends. Go out of your way to pay extra. If your sister cuts hair, how dare you ask her for a free haircut? You pay her double what she's normally worth. This is how you build relationships. The last thing that I'll say, again, is go back to a little bit, is the power of being vulnerable. You know, when you're having problems, the #1 most important thing you can do, one of the most important words in the English language is help. There's something that happens when we help another individual that bonds us to that person. Think about it. The people you serve the most are probably the people you serve the most. Look at a mom or a dad and how they take care of their kids. Of course they love their kids the most because that's who they've served so much. When you put that effort in, if you're in a good relationship, if you love, it's probably because you're serving each other. You're going out of your way and you're doing things for each other, and so you build that bond. Same thing with friends. When you go out of your way and you help people all the time and you ask for help, let people help you, then you create this relationship that just gets so much thicker and so much more beautiful. And so don't be afraid to ask for help. Be a little bit vulnerable. When you're scared, talk to them about it. And don't ask for help monetarily necessarily. Just ask them to like say, hey man, I'm actually struggling tonight. Do you care if I just come hang out? You know, one of my favorite things to do, I got 4 or 5 different buddies. If I'm ever having a rough night, we know this with each other. They'll do it to me too. I'll just say, hey, you want to go for a walk tonight? Or hey, let's go smoke a cigar on your back porch, or go, you know, just go hang out for the night or whatever it might be. We'll just get together. And I have literally 5, 6, 7 of these guys that I know I can count at any time that'll drop whatever they're doing and just go hang out. And it's because I've reached out, and they know that they don't need to give me anything. I just need a buddy sometimes. Same with them. And so this is how you build a tribe. I get asked all the time, how do I get friends like that? How do we build a tribe like that? That's how you do it. You've got to be vulnerable. You've got to find out how to serve. Be intentional. Find people that are worth putting the effort in. And by the way, if this doesn't sound like your friends, you just got the wrong tribe. One of my best buddies is a guy, I won't say his name because of who his other friends were, but for so long he kept like questioning whether he fit in our little tribe. And I finally said to him, like, dude, what is wrong with you? You're like the best dude. You're one of my favorite guys I've ever met in my entire life. You're the most giving guy. You're cool as hell. You're fun as hell. Like, what is wrong? Why do you still feel like you don't belong? He goes, you know, like all my other friends I've ever had my whole life just always seemed like they were trying to get something from me. And he's like, I just don't believe, like, because you guys aren't. I was like, dude, we don't need shit from you. All we need is your friendship. Like, I do need your friendship. I need your love. That's it, man. There's no other requirement to be here. So if your friends aren't doing those things, it's time to up the tribe. It's trying to kick a few people out of the tribe and go find another one. I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, please click the subscribe button. There's more of this all the time. I'm trying to create value for you people. I love meeting new people. Comment, tell me where you're at. Let me know about your tribe. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know if you think I'm full of it or whatever else. But I promise you there's opportunities. There's people out there that are worth putting that time and effort towards. Find those people. Find your tribe.